locked away in the cage of my mind, a former Jedi Guardian. This thing was more powerful than my connection to the light side of the Force.
My children, those precious, precious lives, have suffered the consequence. The next sound that left my mouth was one of pure anguish. I didn't even know I'd fallen to one knee. My children, those precious, precious lives. As the reality of it all came crashing down on me, my heart simply shattered. I had never felt the dark side of the Force as strongly as I did in those moments. Elijah, Quinn, my children. None of them would be dead. It is time the Wrath took her rightful place as head of the Empire. My children would have vengeance.
Chapter 5. The Fall. Fury raged through me as I felt the overwhelming presence of so many Sith. It was no surprise they had betrayed us, but they were attacking the Senate Tower and the Jedi Temple. I could give a damn about the Senate, but the Temple was an utter outrage. Younglings, most my children's age, were there. My master, my brother, Kazrin. Without further thought, I ran. The streets and skies were the most chaotic battlefield I'd ever seen. I killed every Imperial that got in my way, and I was so focused on this task, I ignored any cries for help I heard. I had to get to the temple. I was halfway there when I saw Kazrin. He was helping an injured group of people out of the street as Imperial bombers flew by, pointing them in the direction of safety. Relief poured through me as I rushed over to him, and he embraced me tightly.
You can't stay here, Larissa. They're going to trap us. Use us as leverage. And you must get out. Report back to the council what's happened.
I pulled out of his embrace. No, I'm not leaving. We've got to get to the temple.
It's lost, Larissa. You can't.
We can't just let them take it. Kazrin said something, but I didn't hear him. My master had just fallen. I felt his death, and my anger surged. Ignoring my brother, I released the blades on my double-bladed lightsaber, and I began running in that direction.
Larissa!
Kazrin used the Force to give him a burst of speed, and suddenly he was in front of me again, putting up his hands.
Larissa, stop!
But I couldn't stop. I just couldn't. I flicked my wrist and used the Force to make my brother fly off to the side, out of my way. I charged towards the temple again, but Kazrin recovered, and he used the Force to yank me back towards him.
Larissa, this is not the way. We can't fight them here.
But I can kill most of them. I wanted their deaths. I needed their deaths. Every time a Jedi fell, I could feel it, and they just kept falling. It was feeding my rage so hotly I could no longer ignore it, and I certainly couldn't control it. I just didn't know how. Over a decade of feelings I tried so hard to release exploded inside of me as if they had never left. Not even the thought of my children brought me any peace, but only fed my rage. What if they had been in the temple? What if I'd arrived hours earlier and taken them to see their uncle? It was my job to kill Sith. I was excellent at it, and nothing was going to stop me from doing so now. I started for the temple again.
I said stop!
Kazran shot his hands out, his force power knocking me backwards, purposefully hurting me this time, trying to get my attention.
You have to get out of here! Now!
I got to my feet, my knuckles scratched and bleeding, my face a pure mask of fury. Help me, or get out of my way.
Larissa, don't do this. We'll fight them together, just not here!
Get out of my way! My words were a roar, the power of them knocking him backwards. I leaped at him, but he was up and he blocked my blade. I could smell the smoke, the blaster fire, the charred flesh. The death of the Jedi, the hate of so many Sith coursed through me, and I used it. Kazran suddenly became an enemy, and all I could think about was defeating him. It was insane how power I felt, how much sharper, faster my motions became. He had no choice but to engage me, and he couldn't hold anything back. If he still harbored any hope, I would not use every breath left in me to avenge what had just been done. His blade came at my chest, I countered. It came at my head and I ducked, put a hand to the ground, pushed upwards and flipped over him. I kicked him hard, sending him stumbling forward. I charged, but he was so quick. He met every strike, put me back on the defensive, and that just fed my anger. His foot landed in my chest, sent me backwards. He used his force power to rip up the Duracrete sidewalk, sending a stream of rocks in my path. Growling, I cut through them and I leapt at him again, my blade coming down towards his head. He brought up his own. He blocked my strike, tried to sweep my feet out from underneath me. I jumped, thrust my blade at his midsection. He twirled his own double-bladed lightsaber, knocking away my strike. And with the other end, he cut my face near my jaw. I blanched at the hit, and for just a second, I tasted my own blood.
Larissa, stop! Please! You've gone too far!
But I couldn't hear him. I couldn't even see him. I attacked again, and we were locked in a fierce battle, the sounds of our saber cutting through the air, strike after strike after strike, until suddenly it happened. I gained the edge. I saw the opening I needed, and without hesitation, I went in for the kill. Triumph on my face as I drove my lightsaber into his chest. In that moment, the world returned to focus. In that moment, I saw him. Saw Kazran. My beloved brother, the shock on his face, the twist of pain. What had I done? I withdrew my blade and he dropped it. He collapsed and I caught him frantically. Oh no. Oh no, Kazran, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, don't leave. Oh, please don't go, I didn't mean it.
Don't lose your way.
Kazran, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Please don't die. Please. But he did die. Not a second later. Despite my furious tears and pleading sobs. And when I realized he was gone, I shattered. I clutched him to me. I clutched him to me so tightly and I screamed. I screamed and I roared and I sobbed and I felt like I would come apart at the seams with the force of my agony.
Larissa! Get up! Come on, get up!
Reed was pulling on me. I didn't know how long she'd been there or what she'd seen, but it didn't seem to matter. I stared up at her, still holding onto Kazran. I killed him?
You want to get off this planet or not? We've got to go.
Reed grabbed my arm and she forced me to my feet. I went with her, letting her lead me like I was a lost child. Reed had a blaster in one hand and was firing off shots as we ran, talking into her earpiece.
Risha, keep those engines running hot. Baldar, get ready to man those guns.
I still don't know how Reed managed to get us off Coruscant. I can only attribute it to her natural ability as a pilot. A few hours after the battle, Zarin contacted us. I had spent the time in a daze, sitting almost motionless in the main hold of my sister's ship. I hadn't said a word. I still couldn't when Zarin's hollow image appeared.
Oh, thank God you're both all right. Reza? What's wrong?
Reed moved in front of me, shielding me from Zarin.
Kazrin's dead. Sith got him.
I'd felt it, but I'd hoped. Reza.
Zarin, I am so sorry.
It's not your fault, Larissa. Kazrin is one with the Force now. We must find comfort in that.
But it was my fault. And her words broke me a little more.
I must go. I'll let you know when I find out more. I love you. Both of you.
Let me take you home, Larissa.
No. Not yet. Hey! Oh! I'm gonna sit down now. Yo, how about that? How about that? Live performances for the win, y'all. What's up? And welcome to Tales of the Forgotten live performances. Happy Revenge of the Sith, everybody, aka the Six, Rule of Two, all that good stuff. I am joined tonight by the incredible Gerald Hill, filling in for Jake, who could not make it to play Kazrin, and he did an amazing fucking job, as we knew he would. But Gerald also got to be in Legacy. He played Tal in the Legacy Holiday Special. Pixel on the soundboard, and Tara, as always, as Reed. What's up, everybody? Happy
What's up,
Legacy
family?
Day.
Hey!
What's up?
What y'all think of that chat? How'd y'all like that? How'd y'all like that?
Crystal, you know how to pull at the heartstrings, boy. I tell you.
Listen, we made Adam go first, and he fucking killed it. So we're just here trying to be like Adam.
Right. Yeah.
Y'all had me bouncing in my chair. I was like, oh, let's go.
I know. Listen, it's really
was on it.
fun though.
She was on it, yeah.
To read it with like the epic music playing, because then you could just get in it. You're like, yeah, epic music and shit. I'm gonna have to start listening to epic music when I audition now. Like that's gotta be the key.
Yeah.
That's it. So Gerald, I need to talk first about this amazing Mandalorian armor you're in. Why isn't there a tutorial on YouTube for you to teach us all how to do that shit? Because this is incredible.
Because I've been learning myself while making this armor. It'll be just a lot of me scratching my head for 10 minutes, trying to figure out how I'm going to do this. This is my first suit of, like, I was telling Kels the other day, like, I think this is my most complex cosplay I've done.
Oh, wow.
Probably since my Iron Man armor. But and Star Wars, man. Star Wars, I have such a passion for Star Wars, so every little detail I try to get down. But this is my custom Mandalorian, Decker Voss.
I love that. Do you go to Ren fairs and shit and that? Please tell me you wear that as often as you
Not yet, because I just finished it completely. Okay. But I will be. This year I'm trying to wear it as many places as I possibly can.
I go grocery shopping in that shit. Like I would wear that like all I would wear that all the freaking time. Varwin, not the GOAT, is here. Kels is here. Awesome. Ken is here. Legacy Peoples, what's up? Matt, if you want to come and join the conversation tonight, you absolutely could. Raw Channel, Joe is here. Joe, you could absolutely pull off a Jawa costume. 1,000%. You could just be a really tall Jawa. That's fine. Nobody would judge you. So what's been your favorite thing to like cosplay as so far, Gerald? Because you do a lot of cosplay. Like you got Ghostbusters, you got Star Wars, you got Iron Man. I mean, I see a Captain America shield back there. You got one of those too? Like, what's up?
Yeah, Yeah, that's the next one that's in the works. It's back, little pieces of it back there stuck off in it's Sam Wilson cap though, of course. Sam Wilson cap.
Of course.
Getting ready for the next movie. But man, you know what? Honestly, this is my favorite thing to cosplay to wear, this Mandalorian suit, because Mandalorians are just badass, right?
Right.
But the best experience I've had at cosplay was when me and my wife went to Dragon Con, a big old cosplay convention down in Atlanta, and we dressed up as ODST Helljumpers from Halo.
Oh shit.
And we were like a part of they have like this huge Dragon Con parade where you walk across all the downtown. So there's like, I mean, thousands upon thousands of people. And it was just so cool, like getting to walk around, wave, and then like, but the moment that's really great that sticks with me is like when the kids run up to you and they're like reaching out their hands, and like they had like a professional photographer on hand, and he caught like a lot of good pictures of us interacting with the people, Atlanteans. What do you call them?
People in Atlanta. Got it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was one of the coolest experiences. Yeah, it was being out there.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Can you show us the helmet too? Because I know you haven't put it on yet, but I need to see. So you made everything, right?
Well, yes. The chest piece is 3D printed, shoulder pads are 3D printed, and the helmet's 3D printed. Everything else I made from scratch, like this cloak and all these greeblies, and even my gauntlets I made. These are old movie theater cups that I use, and I just attached a whole lot of household items to kind of make them look Star Warsy, lights, and I have let me see this, if I can get this to work. Y'all know I'm a huge Assassin's Creed fan, right?
Right.
So
okay.
This is it's not gonna work now.
Oh, you got a little blade in there though.
Yeah. Anyway, I have a hidden blade in here somewhere, but on that part. But yeah, let me see if I can do my helmet real quick.
Oh my gosh, so excited.
I'm so excited to see it.
I know, right? Like technology, man. Like I just 3D printed it. Like that's crazy. I wonder how long it took to 3D print that.
Oh
Wow.
Holy shit.
Dude, you look like you just walked off the set of The Mandalorian. That's crazy.
You still hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is my favorite piece of the costume right here. I had to get this right. This when I came across this helmet, this is my favorite piece. It took me forever to do this. I was terrified to do it because I thought I was gonna jag it up, but here we are.
That's
That looks
wild.
awesome, man.
It does. How long did it take to 3D print that?
So yeah.
Yeah. How long was the 3D printing? Like several days?
What's that?
How long did it take to 3D print that?
Hold on.
How long did it take to 3D print that?
The helmet I didn't print. Somebody
Okay.
printed it for me.
Nice.
So I think it was a few days.
Okay.
A few days because it's a mold.
Right.
So it's like but yeah, the guy who designed it, he used to do a lot of custom buckets, and I was lucky enough to get this one made from him before he basically retired. So
Aw.
yeah.
That's what's up. That is what's
Yeah.
up. Dude, I love that. All right. Tara, what have you cosplayed as? Because I feel like we got to up our cosplay game now. Like it's like the bar is like real high.
I've never had the opportunity to cosplay as anything ever in life. Oh wait! Unless you count Halloween, my mom, when I was 7, my mom made me a Power Rangers costume, and she sewed it. It was the pink Power Ranger.
Hell yeah.
So
Hell yeah.
it was awesome. It was my favorite costume ever.
That.
Man, that's cool.
Yeah, I feel like you need to cosplay now as the Pink Power Ranger.
I don't know if I'd do the pink Power Ranger now
Who
because
would you do?
I liked the I like Tommy, the green Power Ranger.
Mm-hmm.
And I also liked him when he was the white Power Ranger and the gold Power Ranger. And I also liked the black Power Ranger. So Power Rangers, those are my people.
Right.
I
Okay.
used to
Okay.
walk, I
See,
used to
this
jump
is
around, kicking
this is
people's
something I
ass.
did not know about Tara, and it
Uh-huh.
makes me extremely happy
Yeah.
because I am obsessed with Power Rangers. Amongst the
Oh,
amazing, I have my Green Ranger helmet back here hidden. I'm not going to try bother getting it. I have my Morpher and all that stuff back there. Uh,
it's morphin' time. Like,
yeah.
oh, it's the
Respect.
best.
Respect. So Tara, what would you cosplay as now?
Oh man, there's so many options. Honestly, probably Storm.
Ooh,
Yes.
I see
Like
that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
probably Storm. Absolutely Storm.
Yes. Got to. Got to.
I something from one of the billions of anime shows that I've watched. Probably. Probably something from Soul Eater. I can't remember the name of the character's name, but she had the locks and she had like what did she have? I cannot remember her name. I haven't watched that in years, but I liked her outfit. Um oh, the fairy from the Ra 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 would be cool. I just would have to find a way to keep my head so that I'm not headless running around here, and I need a motorcycle. So
I think you could pull that off. I think you could pull that off. You could definitely pull that off. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. All right, we about to talk about some Star Wars with these geeks. We're going to get into it. But first, quick couple announcements. Make sure that you are going to talesoftheforgot.com and checking out all of our audio dramas. Do that. We have, first of all, you should be listening to Legacy because we've been spoiling the shit out of Legacy for you like all weekend. Like all weekend we've been spoiling Legacy. So I hope y'all have listened to Legacy. If not, I hope you obviously don't mind spoilers because you're in here. So go and listen to Legacy. All 23 episodes now that is available. Go and do that immediately. Definitely go to the Tales of the Forgotten Fiction Network. If you love that we put on live performances, we do game nights, we do audio dramas, we got tabletop shows coming up, and you want to support us, you can do that. You can click that link right there in the description, and you can make a donation because you don't like commitments and you don't want a membership, and that's fine. I'm not judging you. You can donate any amount you want because you love us and you love Gerald's cosplay. So just go ahead and do that. And you love Tara's voice and you don't want him to shoot you with that blaster. So just go ahead and do that.
I feel like that was a time threat when I pulled that out. Like, don't listen. Don't listen.
You can also join us for a membership, get even more cool shit. It's all on talesoftheforgotten.com website. Go and do that. We're going to shout out these voice actors before we get into our Star Wars discussion. Gerald, you are such a busy voice actor. You were just out here killing it. Tell everybody like what you got going on, what you're excited about, where they could find you.
Man, that's always a tricky one. I just did two interviews where I'm like, I can't talk about nothing, y'all. But the big one that's out right now, you can hear me as Justice in my time at Sandrock. That's on PlayStation, Xbox, PC, Nintendo Switch. It's a cozy game with some romance options in there, so have fun with that. And I'll be in a new point and click adventure game coming out here soon called Foolish Mortals. And I'm actually going to be voicing Lando Calrissian in the Star Wars animated film.
Nice.
And then I think those are the big, and some other big stuff I can't talk about yet. But follow me on Twitter at 0G0 with an X. And then that's usually where you get all the news from me about, or at my website www.artofgee.com.
Hell yeah.
So yeah.
Hell yeah. Tara, where can everybody find and connect with you?
I am not as busy as Gerald at the moment.
Yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Uh-huh.
Not yet. But yesterday I was a little bit iffy. Today I will say it today, and then if I go private, that's too bad, so sad. But you can find me on Twitter at Terranaut, but it's TERRA_NAUT. And I'm also in the Tales Discord. I pop in there and start trouble sometimes, so that's always fun.
Sometimes.
I try to hold back a little bit. You know, I don't want everything to burn down.
Just
Well, right now,
keeps us on our toes.
right?
100%. 100%. All right, y'all. Besides this fantastic legacy thing that we got going on, we are finishing up Don't Look this year. That is what is coming out next, and very, very soon we are finishing up Don't Look, followed by a 7-episode vampire story, followed by a sci-fi conspiracy theory story with some other shit thrown in. So we've got a lot of plans this year, so I am so excited for everything we've got going on here at Tales. But it is Revenge of the Six today, and we need to talk about some Star Wars. Gerald, how do you feel about the Acolyte and what we got coming up in the Star Wars universe? Like, how excited are you?
Look, man, I love Star Wars, and even the stuff that people don't like, I love it because it's Star Wars. Obviously, there are things that are better than others, but that's just that's how things, that's how it goes. Everything can be true. But Acolyte looks amazing. I'm ready for some Sith action, like some dark Star Wars. Like it looks like a horror movie in Star Wars. Like the scene, they're all in the forest. They just showed at the end, like the Star Wars, they're in the forest, and the Sith pops up and they're like, "What are you? Oh, you about to find out?" Because I feel like we about to see a lot of red shirt Jedi just die in this.
I hope so, man. I hope so, because you know what?
Show.
I don't care about these Jedi. Like, the only Jedi I care about is Carrie Ann Moss, because she's just a baller, and I'm mad that they made her a Jedi and not a Sith. Because I'm like, man.
It just looks cool. Like I said, it has that Far East feel to it. And I think that's going to bring a lot, a different flavor to the Star Wars world. And of course, I'm always forever excited about Mandalorian. So I'm excited for the Mandalorian and Grogu movie whenever we get that.
Right.
And I'm even excited that Rey's coming back. I just wake me up when the announcement of Finn coming, when Finn's coming back as the Jedi that we deserve.
Correct. Everybody's still mad about that bait and switch.
Yeah.
We will never let it go. We will never let it go.
Never.
So
Absolutely never. All right, so we got Rey movie excited about. I am cautiously optimistic about Rey's new movie. We'll see.
yeah,
But
I know I'm going to see it.
Yeah,
So
I'm not even tripping about that. Like, I'm going to see it. Like, I just don't know if I'm gonna love it. We'll see.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I want to.
Yes, I
But-
do. I do too. I would love to love it, but I don't know. So they burn me. So I'm cautiously optimistic on that. Am excited about Mando and Grogu getting a movie. I have a lot of Star Wars to catch up on. I have way too much.
Oh, let me just add this, that I'm loving the Hayden Christensen renaissance. He's finally getting the flowers that he deserves.
Listen.
Oh yeah.
And like literally since the last Star Wars celebration, like I tear up every time I see this dude in an interview because I'm just happy for him, because we know how people treated him, with the
Right.
prequels, and but to finally come full circle and see the impact that he's had on Star Wars fans, and like I said, he's finally getting the love that he deserves, man. And then to see him, oh man, the scene with, I don't want to spoil nothing for nobody, but if you haven't seen Ahsoka, it's some good Anakin Skywalker stuff. And Anakin is one of my favorite Star Wars characters.
Yeah.
So to see him back and doing stuff, and yeah, I love it.
Isn't it wild too? Because like, Revenge of the Sith was my favorite movie out of the trilogy, so I didn't
Me too.
have any hate for him. Like, I was like,
Yep.
it was pretty clear to me that this is how George Lucas
Yep.
wanted him to play the character, and that's what he gave. And I was like, all right, and I dug it. Like, I liked it. But it's wild that he got all that hate, and now he comes back and everybody acting like they loved him, like
Right.
they always loved him, like y'all
Like,
were
what was-
talking
How it always goes.
right,
Like,
right,
where was
like
y'all
were
at?
mad
Like, where was y'all at
Right.
with the
right. Now he got that TV series in Obi-Wan, and now everybody's like, y'all, it's Obi-Wan and Anakin. Everybody's like, I've always been a. You just want to
Yep.
pull receipts on people, but yeah, it is. It is quite, because you're right. He's such a nice dude. Like, I watched an interview with him and like Rosario Dawson talking about Ahsoka, and he's just like, he's loving life right now, as he should.
Yeah,
Darth fucking Vader, bro. Like,
I love him and Ewan McGregor, like together. Like, that's the chemistry that the two of them have. I'll watch anything with them in it. And like I said, to have them back as Obi-Wan and Anakin, I'm still waiting on my Obi-Wan season 2 announcement, but or you know, Darth Vader series announcement, something. But just to see them, man, and like, look, Ewan McGregor makes me cry every time, you know, every time he's on screen. With Anakin, I'm like, bro, it's so heartbreaking. The fall of Anakin, the seduction of Anakin Skywalker breaks my heart every time. But I get it.
But I get
The
it.
Jedi was playing my boy, man.
Yeah, totally. He's fucking Jedi. He's fucking Jedi.
Yep.
Oh my god. Matthew wants to know, question for the panel: which franchise has a brighter future, Marvel or Star Wars? Tara, what do you think?
You know, for me, it's kind of difficult to say because they're two completely different types of properties.
Right.
You know, so like Marvel will have its Marvel people and Star Wars will have its Star Wars people. And there are some people that, you know, are part of both groups. So when you say like a brighter future, are you talking about like as far as like diversity of projects that they have, or do you just mean like growth in fan base and things like that? Because again, that's a tough call. It's a tough call.
I think I'm not gonna speak for Matt, but I think, you know, there's been a lot of discussion because nerds love to talk. I think people have been almost disappointed right now with the MCU and like some of the stuff that has come out. And so like, you know, Star Wars is doing really well with TV series, whereas the MCU, it was kind of a mixed bag for people. I enjoyed a lot of it. Some of it I just didn't care about the character, so I just didn't watch it. But I enjoyed a lot of the MCU stuff. So I think as far as like the future goes of both franchises, like just what do you think in general? Do you think like, you know, if just box office numbers or just success with movies and TV shows, which property do you think would have is going to have a better chance? That's a deep question. Anybody can jump in on that one.
Okay, let me.
Go ahead.
Because I kind of got a lot to say about this.
Oh shit. Okay. Right now, Gerald, let's go.
All right, hold on. I'm gonna take these gloves off.
Oh shit.
No, check this out. Okay, so when it comes to, I'm a fan of Marvel, as you can see behind me, and I'm a fan of Star Wars, as you see. So I love what I love, man. There's no console war. There's no fan war. There's nothing. You know, I want everything to succeed, right?
Right.
So now Marvel. Here's the thing. I don't believe in superhero fatigue. I don't think there is superhero fatigue. I think there is a thirst for better stories. And so I don't think it has anything to do with superhero, because look at X-Men 97. Right. Like, there's no fatigue. We just want better stories. Now, I always tell fans, don't sit up here and act like Marvel didn't give us a banging decade full of movies, man. So it was going to always be rough for Marvel post Endgame. It just was, because everything they do from here on out has been and will be compared to Endgame, which it shouldn't. It shouldn't, because it took us 10 years to get to that, right? So this is almost a reset period for Marvel. Nobody cared about Thor, Captain America, and Iron Man when those movies first came out. It was after we seen them, right? And we found out what Marvel was working towards. Now, I do admit I saw somebody say it's going to be an uphill battle. It is, again, because Marvel has set the bar so high for themselves.
Right.
And if they can't live up to that, then, you know, as we can see, you know, online and among social media, it becomes this thing, almost like everybody's like, you either got people rooting for Marvel to fail, or you got people just kind of like, I'm done with Marvel, or this and that, until X-Men, that next X-Men movie come out, or the Deadpool. And I just think that's what it is. Marvel took this time to introduce a lot of characters, a lot of new characters that people aren't familiar with. Right. And they think that was a gamble for them. So a lot of them was met with, friction, because we've been used to the Avengers for the last 10 years. Right. So to take these lesser known characters that most people might not care about, and then, that's going to be tricky. But as we can see, things are starting to ramp up again for Marvel. And, they're announcing the fact that they announced the cast of the Fantastic Four, Marvel's first family. And like I said, X-Men, X-Men are coming in. We got Hugh Jackman back in the tights,
Right.
So I think once Marvel starts getting back to the better storytelling,
Yes.
not necessarily rushing everything out, but better storytelling, better directors. I think they need to broaden their horizon with film directors. Now, Star Wars, in my opinion, Star Wars has so much untapped potential because on the flip side of I always said this, we got Marvel movies every year, 2-3 Marvel movies every year. Star Wars has the capacity to do that very same thing. The world that George Lucas and company has created is full of stories. But here's the thing: a lot of people are not they're going to look at me like I'm crazy. The fandom has to be a little more open-minded about when it comes to Star Wars, because like Marvel started and they was just nonstop. We were just along for the ride, right? When it came to Marvel stuff and the MCU. Star Wars, we had the first original trilogy, then there was this huge gap of nothing. So the fandom had this, X amount of years to come up with fan canon, fanfic, all this head canon, all this kind of stuff. So there's a lot more, in my opinion, there's a lot more expectations when it comes to Star Wars than for Marvel. And I just think if the fans are a little more accepting and a little more open-minded about Star Wars experimenting with newer stories, newer characters. Like we don't have to keep recycling the same characters. I love the Skywalkers, but everything don't got to be about the Skywalkers. Let them recast some people, because look, even if you're gonna do Skywalker, Sebastian Stan has been here this whole time waiting to play Luke Skywalker. Like we missed out as fans. We missed out unless you read the comic books, which some are canon, some are not. We missed out on the most epic chapter of Luke Skywalker's life. So there's so much potential there for that character and so many other characters. I just think Star Wars, and this is where I give Dave Filoni his props, man. To me, Dave Filoni is the Kevin Feige of Star Wars universe. And if they let this man cook like he has been with the animated series, then I'm telling you, Star Wars will just it will be no contest. Like they just, but I think it's going to require give and take on both sides. Disney gonna have to stop being Disney and stop letting all the executives make these decisions, and let the creators do what the creators do. But at the same time, that will in turn build the trust of the fan base when it comes to newer properties. So I guess to sum it all up, to answer your question, I think right now Star Wars has the most potential because it has the most untapped potential. We have barely touched the surface of what's in the Star Wars universe, with the movies and the TV shows, and that's why I'm thankful for Disney Plus, because I think some of the best Star Wars stories that have come out recently are from the series, because again, the world is so broad, it's hard to cram everything into a 2-hour movie.
Right.
So to be able to get these epic stories over 6 to 8, 9 episodes, but yeah, I think I just let them cook. Let them cook. I think they're onto something. Again, I trust in Dave Filoni.
I do want to add something too to what Gerald was saying, and also to make a point that Joe had made in the chat as well. So one thing that Marvel did, because initially when the initial, not like Spawn in them, I'm talking about the more recent like Iron Man and all that, when those films started to come out, there wasn't so much stuff happening. We didn't have a whole bunch, but there was a change made, and then all of a sudden they're like, no, we got to make this, got to make this, got to make this, got to make this. So you spread creatives so thin, and then also you have, I watched a few people talking about how some of the writers didn't know what was happening in other projects, and so they had these stories that, and then you have the multiverse, and they're trying to connect all this stuff, but they don't have all the information because it has to be secret. And it's like, you're doing your disservice in the
there.
storytelling, and that
Mhm.
I think that caused a whole lot of holes.
I agree.
And and not to mention, you know, the VFX and everybody else just being strapped for time, and that's a whole other conversation as
Yeah.
well. And so, you know, what you have this kind of two-pronged issue that's going on. So you have all of these projects that are just being pumped out, and then everybody's like, oh, look at Marvel, can't wait for the next Marvel thing. But it lessens the quality and what can be amazing properties. But then also you have the audience that's then expecting all of this stuff all the time.
Hmm.
And so when you try to cut back on that, then you're going to have people getting mad, like, oh, what's going on? And people just need to learn how to be patient.
Hmm.
You know, streaming, it provides a lot of access for people, because some people, they can't go to the movie theaters to see certain things, or, you know, they might not have cable. So streaming provides a lot of access. However, it can also, if people aren't patient, it can create this false idea of what it takes to truly create quality creative work. Like, some
Hmm.
people think it's just like, oh, you're just an artist, it's easy. No, it's not. It's not easy to do that.
No.
And so I think where Joe had mentioned that Marvel has a harder uphill battle, I think it's because there were even more recent changes where they are trying to cut back on some things,
Hmm.
as they should, and people are just going to have to get used to it. You know, it's just, people just need to learn how to chill out for a little bit.
I don't think it's. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, and then as far as Star Wars, yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, Star Wars just has this massive universe. You could pick any planet, and you could have a brand new property. Whatever planet
Yeah.
you want, just pick any one.
Yeah.
What do you
And-
think, babe? What do you think, Pixel?
Everyone pretty much covered everything I was thinking hilariously. Because I was sitting here thinking that, like, after Endgame, so, like, one of my favorite memories was going to see Endgame in theaters with my dad, because we were both fucked up after watching that.
Man,
It's a great
I'm still
memory,
fucked up.
Ain't recovered yet.
I can't hear the Portal soundtrack without feeling some kind of way.
Yeah.
But I think after Endgame, maybe they probably should have taken, like, a longer break,
I think so.
just to breathe, reassess, and figure out a new drawing board to be more, not reuse the same formulas over and over again with, like, the more recent titles. Because, like, while they're fun, it is a lot of the same that we're used to. So I'm hoping for more, like, slowing it down, breathing, reassessing, and getting, like, braver with the ideas.
I think X-Men is going to be good for Marvel because I never read the Marvel comics. So I'm almost kind of the audience that they were catering to when they went wide with all this, when they, opened up their cinematic universe. But at the same time, I feel like after Endgame, there was all of a sudden a big ask that they asked audiences where, well, if you don't know who these characters are, you got to watch this TV show and be down with this lore and this, that. And ain't nobody got time for that. Like, nobody has time for that. I know, like, just me personally, the Marvel shows that I watched after Endgame literally were just based on what story I was interested in. Like, I liked Moon Knight. I thought Moon Knight was, I don't know shit about Moon Knight, but I watched that show. I was like, this show was awesome. Fucking loved WandaVision. Like, goddamn, WandaVision was so good. I think I watched something else. But after we hung out with those Avengers, it was like, okay, now we spent so much time. Like you said, I didn't realize it was 10 years. You spent 10 years with these characters, and now they're just gone. And now we've got these new characters. And I think that Marvel kind of fumbled in their introduction a lot with how they were introducing them. So I feel like they have an opportunity to kind of reset here with, like, X-Men and some of the other properties that they've got coming in, to take time to let us give a shit about these characters again, and don't ask us to watch, I'm not up to date on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., so that's why nobody understood what was happening in Multiverse of Madness, you know what I'm saying? So it was just like, if they can do a better job connecting the dots going into the future, it's fine, because Marvel storytelling is great. Like, it's fucking great. Like, there's nothing, like, they know how to tell heartstring. Anybody who talks shit about Marvel storytelling is just like, you're like, shut up. You're just like, come on, stop it. There's so much good
Yeah.
cinema in Marvel. It's not about the superheroes. It's just about really good stories. Star Wars, I think they need to take some risks. I think they just need to take some risks because, like we were literally just talking about, like how everybody like talk shit about the prequels, but now we love Anakin Skywalker again. You know, like if you're gonna do Darth Vader, make it dark. Like I want to see Darth Vader at his, because that's like after everything that happened, he is at his evilest.
The height.
Yeah,
That's like he's in his
his,
height.
like I want to see end of Rogue One shit where it's just 12 episodes of him just murdering motherfuckers. Like that's what, like if you're gonna do Darth Vader, it can't be Disney. Like, you know, like,
You got you seen Obi-Wan, right? The show?
Parts of it, not all of it. No, I didn't watch all of it. I watched it.
Well,
yeah.
Okay. There's a taste of that. I just said because there's a taste of that. I've never been like, growing up, we were afraid of Vader because we were told to be afraid of Vader, right? But he in those original movies, he didn't do anything that was like
scary,
truly menacing to us as the audience, right? It was just kind of like that. We get it. That's the story they're telling. This is the baddest mofo in the galaxy. Okay. But, and then to see Anakin, how great he was as a Jedi, that started that, okay, man, it's going to be bad when this dude falls to the dark side because he out here, you know. But then that's in the Obi-Wan show. That was the first time, dude. I was like legit outside of the Rogue One scene. But the scene when Vader's walking through that town and he's just snatching people up and dragging them through the sand, and he picks Obi-Wan up and slowly drags him through the fire. And all
that was so good. I was like,
we need that times 100 for the Darth Vader show. Like I was like, y'all better dude, Vader's coming. Y'all better get the fuck out of here. Right. And I do love one thing you said, Crystal, about Marvel is after Endgame it was a big ask. It was almost too big of an ask for us to forget about these characters that we spent all this time with, and they expect us to immediately grab on to new characters. Right. Now, while that's not fair to the new characters, like you said, you still got to earn that though. Y'all have to. Like Robert Downey Jr. earned that. Yeah. Right. Like my daughter loves Kamala Khan now. Right. You know. So job well done, but you gotta keep it coming. But Marvel, I think they were doing too much too soon. Like we shouldn't be in the multiverse saga right now. I don't feel like we should. I don't feel like we should.
I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. I don't care.
Because the multiverse makes you not care about what's happening because you're just, they could just go to another universe or they can do this and that's the problem. That's where not WandaVision, but Multiverse of Madness fell flat for me. It's like, it's called the Multiverse of Madness, but ain't no Multiverse Madness stuff going on in here. Like, you know what I mean? That title had a lot of a lot of weight to expectations, right? Yeah. And then to find out, don't get me wrong, I know we got some Sam Raimi fans in the chat, but Sam Raimi is good at doing what he does. But the big mistake he made when making Multiverse Madness was not watching WandaVision. How do you not watch WandaVision, dude? Like, and because that was the biggest problem I had with Multiverse Madness. It's like, y'all just undid everything that happened in WandaVision. Oh, because Sam Raimi said he didn't watch the show. Oh, okay. It should be a prerequisite. It should be a prerequisite. Yes. I don't care who. I don't care if you Sam Raimi, Christopher Nolan. I don't care how big your name is. When you come in, you have to do your homework with these characters. And I feel like Marvel just gave Taika Waititi too much creative freedom with Thor and Love and Thunder. And it's like, come on, y'all. Like, that's not the risk I'm talking about. I'm talking about.
And this is what I'm talking about. When I'm talking about how at the end of Endgame, Marvel hasn't connected all the pieces because everybody likes something different. We were united in what we liked for those 10 years. I mean, everybody has opinions about
for the most part.
For the most part, like, there was some, there were some Iron Man movies we were like, there's some Thor movies like, but as far as like the character goes, we are united in their family. Now, I love Multiverse of Madness, but even I was like, had to remind myself that Wanda is acting this way because of the Darkhold, and nobody knows anything about the Darkhold if you didn't fucking watch S.H.I.E.L.D.
They glossed right over that.
That was huge.
Because it happened.
Such an important plot point.
The problem is it happened too fast for Wanda, in my opinion.
Yes.
Like, we see her for a brief second in the after credit scene with the Darkhold at the end of WandaVision.
Right, and now
And then
she's
all of a sudden,
full-on villain.
she's full blown villain in the next movie. It's like, come on, come on now,
Right.
like,
And I love her as a
like,
villain. I love that for
I
her,
gotta,
but I was just like,
but it needed to build. That needs to
yes,
build.
yes.
Like,
That did not feel like a Doctor Strange
for
movie,
her-
and he's my favorite.
for her to go from, obviously she did what she did, and I can understand what she did in WandaVision,
Right.
Because they took the time to explain it, and I understood the grief she was going through. Because let me tell you, Lord knows what I would do for Kels if some superhero type shit happened, So I can get that in WandaVision, but in Multiverse of Madness, like I said, they just went 0 to 100. Now she's about to kill America Chavez with no thought, no question about it. She's about to kill herself, go take her kids from the other one. Like, did you?
Yeah.
Your vision is still out there. Like, what, that, like, did you not listen to it? Oh, Sam, it goes back to, Sam Raimi didn't watch the show. Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
And I loved how dark it was. And that's
Yeah.
what makes me so mad is because, like, if you had to just gave us something in between that, or literally just made that movie about her and didn't try to make it like a Doctor Strange movie, that shit would have slapped. Like, I'm all for her having a full-on supervillain moment because of the Darkhold, because of the choices she made, and then she gets her redemption arc. Like, I'm all for that shit. But you're right, it happened so quick, and there were so many scenes in Multiverse of Madness that I loved, absolutely loved.
My
But it was just
daughters.
like, oh.
Me too. Scenes. Exactly. That's what it is. There's scenes in there that I love.
Yeah.
Most of them was the dark stuff with Doctor Strange, which was amazing. And then watching Wanda just go off. But again, that's like my daughters love from the moment they've seen Wanda in the MCU, they loved her.
Yeah.
And I usually go see most Marvel movies without my kids because I like to preview stuff and see what's going to happen. And I did the same thing with WandaVision, and Multiverse of Madness. And I watched it, and then I came home, and my daughter's like, "Daddy, how was it? Can we go see it?" This was the first time I was like, "I don't know if y'all gonna want to see this one, kids." Like, I don't. And then after some time went by, I'm like, they wanted to see it, so I let them watch it. By the end of that movie, they was like, my daughter, especially my youngest, she looked at me and she just had this look on her face. I said, "You didn't like it?" She was like, "No, not really." I said, "Why? What's wrong?" And she was like, "Scarlet Witch made me sad. I don't like what she was doing."
Oh my gosh! Now I need to go fight somebody.
And see, because in my opinion, now my girls are very intellectual. They can watch and understand movies. So in my opinion, when my daughter goes from no longer liking her favorite character, y'all didn't do a good enough job explaining why she was doing what she was doing.
Correct.
Because all my daughter saw was, Wanda's just killing everybody. Daddy, what's going on? I said,
like, no, I don't understand how. Like, I don't understand how they gloss over that plot point. Like, it's every time I think about it, it just blows my mind. It's just like,
Now,
Yeah.
Now, to bring it back to Star Wars, let's bring it back around to Star Wars because it's Star Wars, Star Wars celebration. I'm just gonna put this out there. Soul is one of my favorite Star Wars movies. Fight me.
But see, here's the difference between the MCU and Star Wars. The MCU asks you to, because they put all these superheroes and movies together, right? That you have to like them all, otherwise you're not going to care about this movie. This is why nobody is excited about the new Avengers that is coming out, because we don't give a shit about the characters that are in it. With Star Wars, you can go wherever. Like, you can watch the Darth Vader series or not. You can go watch Ashoka. You can go watch The Mandalorian. You can go watch Boba fucking Fett. You can immerse yourself in these movies. Now we got, animated stuff. We've got did they do What If for Star Wars? They did something. It was an animated thing, and now we've got the tail stuff that looks actually darker than I think that's going to be darker than the Acolyte. I hope I'm wrong. I want the Acolyte to be dark so bad. I want it to be so bad. But Star Wars doesn't have I have to link everything together the way that the MCU does. Star Wars has that freedom. Like Tara said, we could literally go to fucking Hoth, and there could be a whole all story about whatever was going on.
It's a little more difficult when all your heroes live in New York versus
right. Everybody,
versus,
and you're just like, where the fuck? Like, Spider-Man just not gonna come? He's just not gonna show up?
like y'all just gonna let me die out here?
Right. And the Eternals, like, there's just a big ass, there's a whole ass fucking god in the continent now. Nobody showed up. Nobody. We was just like, whatever.
Are they ever going to address that? Like, that mug is just sticking from the heavens. Like
It's large. I don't think
They
there's.
probably got like a amusement park on it now.
You just-
Taking ferry rides to go see the
Well,
guy.
now I do like that Star Wars is starting to do some interconnectivity, but like you said, it's not as extreme as it is with Marvel. Now I do think Marvel can pull back on some of the connective stuff if they're creative. Again, I do think it's a little hard because again, they all mugs live in New York, and because everybody's keep like I love the Spider-Man movies, right? And everybody's like, well, why does Spider-Man keep having cameos in his movie? It should be like, dude, we got 5 Spider-Man movies when he was by himself crying all the time. We got that. I'm done with it.
Right.
Now I want to see Spider-Man with Iron Man and the rest of the MCU.
Daredevil. I hope
Yeah, right,
him and Daredevil,
right.
'cause,
So, but,
you know.
because look, at this point, we would all be in the movie theaters, like you said, asking ourselves, man, where's Matt? Like, where's Matt out here getting his teeth kicked in? Where's Punisher? Where's all these characters that they can't be that busy.
They're like, nah, he got it. I'm tired. He got it.
Like Spider-Man's like, I've been out all night. You got this, Matt. You got it. But yeah, but Star Wars, I'm glad even like with the Mandalorian, they started doing that, doing the interconnectivity thing with Boba Fett. When it makes sense, and that makes sense because we're dealing with Mandalorians,
Right.
and the rebuilding of Mandalore.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
but like you said, Acolyte. I love how Acolyte is just gonna be its own thing. That's like,
I hope
and that's and because this is High Republic, right? Acolyte
High
is
Republic, yeah,
High
it's supposed to be
Republic.
in the High Republic,
So
yeah.
the first time dealing with all this crazy Sith and stuff, and they about to get jacked up. So I'm sure there'll be Easter eggs or callbacks to some things that fans know about, but
I
for the
am
most part.
the Acolyte concerns me only because when the trailer for Tales of the Empire came out, that felt very what I was like, yes, show me.
That's the vibe. That was more the vibe.
That
you were
was the
going for.
vibe. That was the vibe I was looking for. Like when the first Acolyte trailer the poster came out, and it was just that lightsaber and then the blood trail. I was like, oh shit, here we go. I was so excited. And then I saw the trailer, and it wasn't that I was disappointed. I was just like, I don't give a fuck about these Jedi. I was like, I just thought there was too much emphasis on the Jedi, and it almost feels like they're trying to like pull audiences in because everybody loves Jedi so much.
Yeah, that's what I think they're doing.
That's what
That's what I'm
hoping.
That's what I'm hoping that they do.
Yeah.
Like you said, because I get when I see the Acolyte trailer, I get the Battle of Geonosis, when all those lightsabers light up, and it's like my uncle has this theory, like when there's one ninja, he's badass. But every ninja you add on, he gets weaker so if you have 100 ninjas, those 100 ninjas are not going to be at 100%. They're going to be at 1%. So now they just getting jacked up. And I feel like that's how Jedi are. One Jedi is bad. 2 Jedi is tough.
Right.
But you add 100 Jedi, they about to get wrecked. So and that's what I'm hoping that they're doing with the Acolyte, because it's like everyone knows this is the first time they're telling the story of the Sith, right? Mm-hmm. So I feel like that's the stuff that they want to keep under wraps. At least that's what I'm hoping. Like lure everybody in with the colorful lightsabers, and then that first episode, everything's gonna be hunky dory with the Jedi and the Jedi Temple, and then their world is gonna get rocked. And it's gonna be fire and brimstone and red lightsabers everywhere. So that's what I'm. Yeah, that's what I do. I understand the concern, because I do get that. I'm just hoping, for the latter. Like, yeah.
What do you think, Pixel Terror? Do you think the Acolyte's actually going to be dark, or is it going to be like not quite as? Do you think it's going to be Disney Sith or actual Sith?
I think they're gonna try really hard, but so what I'm putting out there, I don't know if this is actually gonna happen. I'm hoping that we're gonna get surprise Pikachu'd, where with what Gerald was saying, was like luring people in with the colorful lightsabers and shit. And then I want some off the rails, ridiculous shit to happen to throw all that out the door. That's what I'm hoping for. I think Disney's going to try to lean into that dark sideness. I don't know if they got it in them. We'll see. I'm holding on. But we'll see.
I'm just I hope they haven't announced the rating for it yet, have they? For Acolyte?
I don't think so. I don't think I have
Okay.
that. Let's see. I'm gonna Google it right now while we're talking.
But that's gonna be. I know they usually wait not till last minute, but that's usually one of the final things that they do for it when they got the final cut. But I'm just like, y'all let Marvel do. Now granted, Marvel is right now a bigger powerhouse, so to speak. Y'all let Marvel do Deadpool rated R. Let Star Wars do some. Let Star Wars do some. Some. Some get them get a little gritty.
Like, give me the ruthlessness of Vader and Obi-Wan, but like
Yeah.
times 2 with
Right.
the Sith.
Yep. Because Vader still cared about Obi-Wan, so so he was going easy on him in a sense.
Right.
But these Sith, they don't care nothing about nobody. So these mugs need to show up.
No, it's rated TV 14.
Oh.
What has now? I'm of the opinion I don't need things to be rated R. I don't think things need to be rated
don't
R
have
to be
Rated
good.
R to be good. So hang on. Well,
But
let's
they
see.
but they
What
but they
was-
have to know how to push that line,
what
like
was
because
Obi-Wan
even some of
rated?
the animated shows push that line. Like
Yeah.
I'm surprised by stuff they show in Bad Batch and the Clone Wars, especially the later seasons of Clone Wars. Those got real mature for a minute.
Yeah.
For a lot of stuff.
Obi-Wan Kenobi was also rated TV 14 to be fair. So and I mean he drug that motherfucker.
Because I think that's
fire.
trick. That is the trick. That is the balancing act. They do want Star Wars to be for everyone.
Right.
But I'll take a TV 14 over a PG or PG 13.
Right.
It doesn't need to be rated R, but that director needs to know how to get as close to that line as he can.
Yeah.
And then because sometimes less is more.
Right.
And change that camera angle right when somebody get maimed or whatever. I don't know. But
you can the screaming off camera.
Yeah.
I am a little bit disappointed though because if you're gonna call a show The Acolyte, this is a perfect opportunity for you to see and to push that line.
Mhm.
To see it. Do people actually want a darker Star Wars tale? Like, do you want it? Like it was. See, and that's my only beef with Star Wars. It's literally like you said earlier. I'm tired of Luke Skywalker. There is so much Star Wars to tell. I want them to tell these stories. That's why I'm like cautiously optimistic about Rey's story because I'm like, I don't know what storylines, any connection to because she's so far in the future, I guess. So there's this great opportunity for them to just go crazy. So I would love for that to happen. But like you said, there's so much EU stuff that they just got rid of that they could bring in if they wanted, if they're scared. But I'm like, you're Disney. You've got so much money. You can afford to make like one movie that you're just like, let's just see. Or one TV series. Like, let's just do something wild and let's see. Like, you got the money for that. Just do it.
That's the thing that I don't quite understand when it comes to Disney. Because Disney has been shown, and maybe it's because Marvel was already its own thing. Well, I guess Star Wars was too. But it seems like they give Marvel more freedom than they do Star Wars.
Right.
Like that's just my personal opinion. Based on what I hear and the projects that we get, it seems like they hold Star Wars by tighter restraints than they do. Like I said, Marvel. Marvel's about to get freaking Deadpool rated R.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And now, do I think Deadpool could have still been great if it was PG-13? Yeah. Like, we've seen stories of Deadpool in the comic books and, in the animated stuff where it's just as good. But they have to know how to do it. Like, you got to lean into his funnier side and those breaking the fourth wall moments a little more. But I feel like they restrict the Star Wars IP much more than they do. And I don't know, but I think it's,
Curious.
I hate to point fingers because everybody wants to say Kathleen Kennedy this, Kathleen Kennedy that, but there is a running thing. Like one thing I like about Kevin Feige is this dude. He will set out to make his plan and he'll do it regardless of what people, even if us fans don't like it. Kevin Feige is going to do it.
Right.
And I wish the people behind Star Wars had a little more backbone like that. Like Star Wars they'll make like they'll take a risk, and then if it's not immediately accepted, they'll back off. They're like, nope, we'll go back to we're going back to what works. It's like, no, man, that just you gotta give it time. You gotta, like I said, with the whole thing with Anakin Skywalker and Hayden Christensen, sometimes you gotta give it time, and you gotta, people have to see your vision. What are you trying to do? So the Star Wars can be a little wishy-washy. Like, dude, no, if you have a plan, just do it.
Right.
Just do it.
Right.
And if it works, it works. If it don't, what matters, what should matter, is what is the overall story you're trying to tell.
Right.
If this project's going to serve it, that project's going to serve it, then do it. At some point, we do have to, and I say this as a creator myself, we do have to create for ourselves, and we can't please every fan. That's never going to happen. It's not in Star Wars, not in Marvel, not in anything. So I just feel like y'all gotta get a plan, a solid plan, and stick to that plan.
Yes.
And
if it's a movie, a director, one director.
Yes.
Not three.
Stop changing. Stop this stuff where you changing directors every unless some mad crazy happen. Like, I think, look,
That's wild.
Love or hate the sequel trilogy, I think we would have had a better if it would have just been J.J. Abrams from all the way through.
Right.
It would have been a different story.
Correct.
Just
Pick one. Because
Yep.
I remember, and Pixel Tear, I want y'all to weigh in because I know we nerding out so hard. But I remember when I heard that it was J.J. Abrams and Rian Johnson, I was hype because I love Rian Johnson's work and I love J.J. Abrams' work. I was like, kind of like whatever about Colin at the end. I was like, But I didn't think then that these were two creative powerhouses, and I should have. And I should have been concerned about it because it was so clear that J.J. Abrams had an idea and Rian Johnson had an idea, and they was not talking. I don't care what nobody say. They was not talking about their idea. So you should have either gave it to J.J. or you should have either gave it to Ryan.
Don't double back and give it back to J.J. after. Now J.J. got to come in and try to fix and repair what. So like Ryan came in like, this is my Star Wars. All I care about is Rey and Kylo. Screw Finn.
Clear.
That's literally
That's what I got from Last Jedi. I'm sorry. That's what I got from Last Jedi. Don't get me wrong.
Tell him, babe. Tell him, Pixel.
Don't get me wrong. I love Kylo Ren. I love him. And he should not have died at the end of that's just my opinion. Stop killing the Skywalkers, man. Like, let somebody actually redeem themselves. Like that's how you break the cycle. But anyway, I digress. I get passionate about that kind of stuff. But but yeah, Ryan, you can tell Ryan just came in and he just gave two shits about what JJ was planning. And he was like, this is my movie. I'm about to do what I want to do.
Go ahead, Pixel. Go ahead.
So that right there, that exactly what Gerald said is why when I first heard that it was gonna be Abrams and him, for like a second I was really excited, but then I remembered, yeah, they're both really creative, but I also knew that Rian Johnson had a long history of dick swinging with other people.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah, well, I won't say Abrams is kind of he's not a pushover, I guess, but less likely to argue. So he'll find a way through situations. So he'll deal with what he's dealt with. But yeah, when I heard maybe a couple hours after hearing that, I was like, I don't know if that's gonna work very well.
Look, maybe it's just me, but them directors that show up with a 2-piece suit on, 3-piece suit on, they can't be trusted sometimes, man. You got they take their job a little too serious. But think about it. Christopher Nolan comes to work in his suit, and you're not gonna get nothing past Christopher Nolan. When you sign this dude on to direct your movie, it's his movie, it's his way or the highway.
Right.
And then you get Matt Reeves, who just directed the latest Batman. Same thing. He comes in. This is Batman, but we're never going to have Robin. We're not going to have Clayface and all these supernatural. I mean, then don't do it. Don't sign up for the movie if you don't believe in the source material, man. Right. Like, don't come in and try to make a mafia movie out of Anyway.
That's legit. That's legit, though. Because, this is what I got about Rian Johnson, too, because after watching The Last Jedi, it was clear as fuck to me that he should never be given characters that have pre-existing lore.
Yeah.
He's just one of those creative people. Like, you can't trust him with a character that has history because he does not give a fuck about it.
He wants to,
just doesn't
and
care.
he wants to shock and awe you,
Right.
like, which is why we got old man Luke Blue Milk Skywalker.
Just let Ryan Johnson. I'm all for Ryan Johnson having a Star Wars movie, but you gotta let him have, like,
It has
it's
to be
gotta
original.
be like 80,000 years into the fucking future.
Yep, it has
or
to be
like,
its own little
right,
pocket.
its own
Um,
thing, and just let him fucking go ham. And I think it'll be great. Like, no lie, I think it'll be fucking awesome if you give him original shit. But don't give him no more characters that actually have personalities, pre-established canon, because Ryan Johnson don't give a fuck.
For the most part, I love Force Awakens, man.
Oh, it's so
Like
good.
it had,
so
but
good.
that's, to me, that's the best one out of the sequel trilogy. Like, and that, because it had that wonder that Star Wars brings you, where it's like you're having fun and it's like these new characters, and yeah, it was a lot of fan service in there, but how can you not?
Right.
Like, there are things that I would have liked to happen and that never happened. I wanted to see the original group together, like before y'all start killing people. But those are, I was able to overlook a lot of stuff in The Force Awakens because for the most part it was a solid movie. Then the Last Jedi came in, and it was like, that would have been good if it was like the first movie, or if it was like its own thing. But then I just lost all hope when I found out that Rise of Skywalker, y'all throwing the ball back to. I would hate that as a director. I would hate that. Like, you bring me in for the first project and then kick me out, bring somebody else in to do it. Then y'all didn't. Then y'all, it was so divisive. Let's go back to hey, come back. No, I'm not coming in to try to fix this nonsense.
Agreed.
So-
Agreed. Yeah, you want Kyle Katarn. I mean, there are so many independent stories too. Like, I'd love to see Darth Revan on screen. I'd love to see Darth Trail on scene. I think we all would love to see some KOTOR stuff. Like, Tara, what do you think? Who would, like, between J.J. Abrams and Rian Johnson? Like, what you think?
I honestly, I don't know too much about their history. I'm sure I've seen a lot of their movies, but I probably didn't pay attention to who the director was on it. So I can't speak to that, but I can say that as far as switching directors out, like, that just does not make sense to me at all, to have a story and then to have multiple directors for that story. That's like having a book being written by several different people, and then each one could say, okay, well, I want this in there, I don't want that in there, I want this. It's like, there's no
Cohesion.
no.
It only work. That only works. That only works if it's a collaborative process. That's the only way it's going to work.
Correct. And as far as like what I would like to see, I mean, I'm still on Finn. I want to see Finn. Like, I think I mentioned it yesterday, I would like to see Finn's story. I want him to use the Force. I don't necessarily want to see him as a Jedi, just because I have qualms
With Jedi.
about Jedi.
Yeah.
This would be a great
So-
Jedi. This would be a great opportunity to open up that part of the Force.
Yeah.
Krista, fans don't like the great Jedi stuff.
We gonna bring him in.
I mean, they gotta get over
They
it.
gonna have
It's
to
too
get
bad.
over
But
it. They gonna have to get over it.
I do.
Think,
but
nah. But
it makes sense. It's just call it what you want, maybe, even if you don't like the term Great Jedi, to try to say that the Force only belongs to the Sith or the Jedi is that doesn't sit with me. Like, but to be able to know that there's so many other Force sensitive that never made it to the Jedi Temple, that are still Force sensitive, like you said, and to have Finn knew it from the moment he had, like, we go back to The Force Awakens, when the opening scene, and he takes his, he sees his buddy die, because there's a lot of backstory there that they didn't get into. That was one of his comrades. He sees him die, he pulls the helmet off. That was The Force Awakens. Like, that literally was that moment. And we didn't hear nothing else about that moment until the last movie, when Finn finally meets the girl, I can't think of her name right now, on the horse.
Yeah.
But yeah, why did we go a movie and a half before we before they even had that conversation?
Right.
Like, so there was like these, you can tell again, you tell JJ had a plan. He had a vision that got derailed by the second movie, and then by the time the third movie came out, it's like they was just grasping at straws at this point. Again, like I said, Disney tends to has, when it comes to Star Wars, they have that knee jerk reaction, like, oh, this didn't work. The fans didn't like this. Well, let's somehow Palpatine returns.
I'm only mad they didn't go like full meme in that last scene. Just have him scream unlimited power.
Like,
Yeah.
because The Force Awakens was always goofy. But we liked it because it reminded you of how goofy A New Hope is. Like,
Yep.
how many times do you think that man had to say it's a bigger Death Star? With it, like before, like how many takes? Like how many takes was y'all? Like, come on! And it was the same way to get in there, but we didn't give up. We didn't care. We did not care. I remember laughing. We didn't care because you had everybody back, and it was Star Wars, and it was great. And now I was like, I remember saying, I was like, and now I want to see where they go. I don't want you to just rehash the original trilogy. Now that you've introduced these characters in this new world that I'm in, now do something different. And they were like, well, guess what? You want something different? We got you. And I'm like, not like that. I'm that person. I was like, not like that. It's just not like that. Not like that. Tara, what would be, if you were in charge of Star Wars, you get to be in charge of Star Wars, you get to make your own Star Wars thing, and then I'm going to ask you, Pixel, and I'm going to ask you, Gerald, what would be the thing that you would want to bring into this universe for fans? Like, for you, don't give a shit who likes it or not. Like, this is what I want to see for Star Wars.
Jeez, oh man.
That's a
what
big question.
What I want to see.
Joe wants more Western-style Star Wars movies. I like that. I like that.
I think it's hard to say exactly. I think that one thing that I would like to see so that people can really grasp what Star Wars is about, like, you know, like get into the politics more, like not just, oh, Jedi good, Sith bad, like more into like, no, this is the shit that people are actually doing and it's not cool. Like, this is not good. Like, this needs to stop.
Right.
And then also telling people that just because you have emotions, you're a horrible person.
Chris,
You're evil.
Tara, don't get me started. That is the dumbest thing.
So mad.
My
Go ahead.
God.
Continue.
But yeah, I think like just more the politics, because there are a lot of the comic book bros, a lot of the gamer bros are like, there's no politics in it. It's like, did you watch any of his interviews when he was talking about the stuff that inspired
Star Wars has always been political.
I don't understand.
You just gotta ignore
There's a-
those motherfuckers because they still
there's a
watching
literal
everything and
war.
giving it their money. They just getting on Twitter and just running their mouths.
Yeah, it's like there's a literal war. There is something political happening.
It's called Star Wars. Star Wars.
Wars. It's not Star bickering.
Right.
No.
It's not
War-
Star Dude. It's not Star
War-
Dude. It's Star.
Yeah, what is
Like,
war? War is all about politics. That's all it is.
Oh,
It's two powers that can't agree on how to run shit. So they about to bomb each other up, and all of us normal people get caught up in that's Star Wars. How is that not political?
Oh man, it's so wild. So I don't know. Maybe they need like a pamphlet. Maybe not even in a movie. Just have like a pamphlet when you get your ticket. You get a little pamphlet just outlining, and then we have a teach-in afterwards with Q&A, so that way people can get to understand what's happening. And I'm like half jokingly saying that, but still, Finn. I want to see Finn, because Finn's story, you know, he's a stormtrooper. And those people are brainwashed to the nth degree. And he's like, no. So I want to see that whole transformation. I want to see that inner turmoil that he most likely went through. I want to see things from his perspective, and I want to see how he became who he was. or who he did become. I'm still on Finn. Like that's my guy.
That's
Mhm.
it's a
my
good thing to
dude,
hang
so.
on to, though. Like that's fair. That's fair. Pixel, what do you want to see? You're in charge of Star Wars. What are you doing?
I was like still thinking about how much I'm annoyed by the Jedi, but anyway.
Yeah.
So clearly nothing about the Jedi is what she's saying.
Murdering them all.
Because like we had like a conversation about this with me and Crystal, right? And just if you haven't seen like the Clone Wars animated show, there is a very specific arc that happens in it. And when I watched it for the first time as it aired on Cartoon Network, and it was like a two-parter situation, right? And I've never been so fucking angry at a group of people
so mad.
ever. I get so
I
passionate.
know
about
I know
this.
exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, I bet you
I know
do.
exactly what you're talking about.
I've never wanted the Sith to win more than that moment. But anyway, what I would love to see more of. Yes, Joe, it is branded into my brain. I'm scarred forever. But I want to see more of people who are living in this world in between the Sith and the Jedi. Because I'm very spoiled by SWODAR because I haven't finished it yet. But what I've seen so far is I love all the origins. Like you can play a bounty hunter, you can play a smuggler, you can play an agent, whatever. I want to see all these people trying to live and navigate their lives that are neither of these things. They're not Jedi, they're not Sith. They're just people trying to people in this universe. And I feel like we've seen like very little of that. Like what's day-to-day life like for people who are none of these things? Or maybe that random person that does have Force abilities, but they're neither Jedi nor Sith, and they can just do shit. Like, what's that like for you who has no teacher because you're neither of these things?
100%.
That's a great point.
I like
Boom.
that.
Because
The wrong channel. I'm gonna
That's
comment.
like-
I'm gonna comment on that, Rob.
I imagine, like,
but no, that's what I liked about I know a lot of people don't like the Halo TV show, but that's one of the things that I appreciate about the show is because
Tara.
you get to see
You love it.
that you get to see that the people you get to see the people in their everyday life. I'm like, oh my gosh, like these are the people's houses that we were walking through and reached
Yeah.
when we're collecting
Exactly. Yeah.
the farmers and everything. So I love that show, by the way, just FYI. I'm on season 3.
Tara, we gotta have more geek out sessions because
See.
I'm learning a lot about you, and we hear you. We hear you. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Go ahead, Gerald. Go ahead. I know you got thoughts. Let's go.
That's actually a tough question, but I think I'm landing somewhere in the middle with Pixel, and it ties into the wrong channel's comment about why he liked Solo. Solo wasn't about the war. It wasn't about it wasn't about Jedi versus Sith. It was about characters caught in the middle of this crap trying to do what they can to survive.
Right.
And to me, that's when the stakes are higher.
Right.
Because I think I would start there. I would start to show a more ground level story in the Star Wars that gradually gets epic, like where you take these normal people and you slowly pull them into the big cogwheel that is Star Wars. Like I said, so we as viewers and fans can see what that's like, where the Jedi are touting this thing, and you're like, well, when the Jedi showed up on my planet, y'all destroyed half the stuff, or y'all did X, Y, and Z, and then y'all didn't care about us, y'all just left, or where people know of the Jedi and they know of the Sith, and they don't want to do what they want. Like we tired of being caught in y'all war like that. I think that's the story I would want to tell, and to show that compromise. Like, okay, what. There's a line in the new Fallout show. I don't want to spoil it, but there's a line in the new show where one of the characters says, everybody wants to, like, I'm paraphrasing, everybody wants to save the world, but they just can't agree on how.
Yeah.
That right there. That's Star Wars. That is Star Wars. Like, and I would want to tell a story like that, where, like, imagine you being a normal person. and a Jedi or a Sith shows up. Like the scene, the opening scene in Obi-Wan Kenobi when the Inquisitors show up. Them people were terrified of them. And I feel like the same way would be about Jedi too. I don't care how nice y'all say y'all are. What y'all doing defies the laws of physics and getting all this kind of stuff. So, but like I'm here with my pew 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 pew, and you coming over here force choking and force pushing and doing. I want to see that like let me go back to Tara was saying about Halo. That's one thing I loved about the Halo show that they never show. The games never told me why I should like Master Chief. I was just supposed to like Master Chief.
Right.
The show did that for me. The show, and everybody went complaining about him taking his helmet off, is because the show wasn't about Master Chief. The show was about John 117, and we needed to know who the hell John was and how he got to where we know him as, you know, and I think the show even poked fun of that by having all these posters of Master Chief all over the place and having this corporate this military propaganda promoting him to doing all these great things, even when he wasn't necessarily doing, you know, anything. I think that was a poke at the games. Like, we all just liked Master Chief just because he was the hero of the story. But why? Why though? And I tell you, boy, when the Halo, when John, there's a scene in Halo when the fall of Reach is happening, and John don't got that armor on, and he's stressed all out, right? And he's like, I need my armor, like. And that's how I feel like that's how they knew the fans would feel. Like, Chief needs his armor. But there's a line that Key says is like, you being here, John, and them seeing your face matters because they see a normal dude. They see a normal guy just like them out here. They don't see the Chief. They don't see Master Chief. They don't see the big green Spartan with the gold visor. They see a guy that's willing to fight and die by their side. And that's what the show was about. And I want to see that in Star Wars. Like, let me see these normal, ordinary people saving the day, dude, and trying to bypass all this crap going on. So that's the story I would tell. Is something of that caliber. I'm a sucker for underdog stories, so it's always going to be an underdog story. These characters that y'all should not survive the stuff that y'all are doing, but y'all are, you know. And that's the story that I would want to see in Star Wars.
That's fantastic. I love that.
And just a segue. That's why I like Legacy. Like Legacy, it has the Sith, the Jedi action, and all that kind of stuff. But that's not what drew me in. I mean, like obviously that's Star Wars. Oh, it's a Star Wars audio drama. Let me listen. Right. But what sticks around is the characters, the relationships that they had, that we don't really get to see in Star Wars like that. You know, a family, like a freaking family that goes through trauma, like, and cause trauma to each other. like that's so unique.
You know, I would love to expand on that universe more, because what I would do if just give me some money, and just let me play with some stuff.
Poor Vancito.
Yeah, poor Vancito. There's a lot of things that I would play, because you guys are talking too, and I'm thinking about beats and SWTOR that I love, that I put into Legacy because of that. Like, I would start with these kids and like the Lucas Sene, and people don't know this, but the blind, the Mirror Luke, if I'm saying their names right, because Star Wars names, the Mirror, like the who the Daclans are, the original, they're from this planet where you're born blind, and that's how you see the Force, and they have their own like little like fucking like little Force, you know, thing. And I was like, well, what if I had some people who were born into this, but they, you know, they're born with one eye. Like, what does that look like? So we would spend a lot more time seeing Reed and Larissa's trauma and how they were treated on their own planet with their own people, just because they're born a little bit different, and that whole thing. And their parents literally just let them go to the temple, because they're like, well, they suck. They ain't blind. They suck. Get them out of here. I don't give a shit. Like, you know, that trauma, right? And then we jump right into all this nonsense with the Jedi, right? And you literally have a family who loves each other, and you got Jedi telling you that attachments are bad. Are you really telling me not to love my sister? Like, what? What? I'm not allowed to like have an attachment to my actual, and then you put, now I'm gonna put them in war. I'm gonna literally
Yeah.
put 14-year-olds.
You're taking these emotionally stunted people
Right.
in leadership.
Right,
Leadership.
right. And I'm gonna show that. I'm gonna show that fucking more. I'm gonna show you an empath who is trying so hard to do what you tell her to do, but when she's like, "Hey, I'm having a real hard time letting go of the energy off of these Sith," and you tell her to just meditate harder. We're gonna explore that. But I also want to get into, Reed has a great line where Larissa has lost her shit, and Reed's like, you know what? Fuck them, because I literally bribe people in the Senate all day, and they're out here talking about democracy. It's so good, and she's like, that motherfucker was on my ship last night. Like, so like we can really get into the complexities. And why Vara Wynn was a Vos is because in SWOTAR, when you get to Vos, it is very clear they don't fucking want you there. They do not care if you are Jedi. They do not care if you are Sith. They do not want you on their planet. And the Jedi do some fucked up shit to the Voss that results in like the Gormak and their whole like way of life. And this was Jedi. This was not Sith. So like having that villain that is just like, both y'all gotta go, because y'all always be beefing, and we are always stuck in the middle of your beef. Like it does not matter.
We don't want that here. We don't do that here.
I am literally like, we literally told y'all that you are an outsider. Get the fuck up off our planet. And y'all was like, but it's war. We kind of got to be here.
Something I really want to point out, because of course the Sith are fucked up too, of course. It's Sith. But when the what I think it was the Ahsoka series, pretty sure because I haven't seen it yet, but they were remaking or reimagining some scenes that happened in Clone Wars, right? And it was so fucking cool because they got an actress to play little Ahsoka during that time frame, and people were complaining that they got too young of an actress. I'm like, no, y'all.
No.
She's exactly that age where they shoved her into the shit.
Exactly.
I don't think people realized.
That age.
And that's her trauma. Like,
she was that age, having to give Rex orders, having to follow Anakin, seeing some horrible shit. She was exactly that age, and that I'm so glad they casted that actress to really drive home that this was fucked up. And you had child soldiers out there.
And she said it. She said it in there. It's like at least the other Jedi got to be Jedi for a little bit. She was born and trained in war. That's all she knew. And she hated it. Like I said, that's why, oh man, I love Ahsoka. And especially in her stories in the Clone Wars, you see how attached she got to people, and especially the clones. And then to watch them repeatedly just die. And everybody like, well, you got to get over it. This is war. This is war. This is war. It's like, dude, I'm still a person. Right. And this whole, like, again, like you say, you're creating these emotionally stunted individuals, and y'all look surprised when they act out. Right. Anakin Skywalker, y'all took this dude from everything, and y'all prevented him from having anything, and telling him the way he felt was wrong all his life, all his life, and then the moment he needed y'all the most. Talking about the Jedi, when he needed y'all the most, y'all turned y'all back on him. And guess who was the only person there for him? Palpatine. Now, I don't agree with, obviously, I hate Palpatine. Oh, I hate Palpatine to this. Palpatine, you remember how, I don't know if y'all households was like this growing up, but I grew up, and my grandmother, my mom watched soap operas, and there's certain characters in those soap operas that they hated so much that they would slap the mess out of them if they saw them in real life. That's Palpatine for me. Like, I'm sorry, Ian. Like, if I saw you, I'm gonna have to resist putting hands on you.
It's on site.
We'll watch your career with great no, get the fuck out of here. Leave my dude alone. So, like, and that's, again, it's tragic, man. It's tragic. And y'all keep making the same mistakes over and over again. Yes. And it's
I would
like
spend a lot of time there. I would spend I would need Disney to give me like 2-3 seasons so we can just spend a lot of time in both. And I think the biggest thing for me too is to explore that, like, what does it mean to be dark side but not a psychopath? Like, what if Darkseid is simply that? Because the line, I love it so much. Passion gives me strength. I'm gonna fucking get it tattooed on my body because I just love that line so just because I am passionate about something, just because I have anger does not mean that I'm a psychopath. You know, so I have intrusive thoughts, but who doesn't? It's fine. Like, but it doesn't mean that I'm a freaking. So I want I want stories that literally sit in that have somebody that learned both ways and was like, anyway.
It's like
nothing is
like,
absolute. Like I can
it's like Superman
here and like anger here, and I'm fine.
Yep, because you haven't been deprived of feeling these emotions.
Correct.
It's harder to manage your emotions when you've never been allowed to deal with them.
Correct.
That's like me giving my 8-year-old a lightsaber and telling her to make the best choices ever without letting her experience.
What's going on?
Some bodies is gonna hit the floor at some point because. So, but yeah, and that's what a story would that be, Crystal? Like to watch someone mentally, emotionally go through that, for an extended period of time, but come out better for it.
Right.
And show people like, I told y'all, we tried to tell y'all. Like,
that's it.
Like,
I do. I would love animated series. We're just going to make it happen because I feel like there's so many small beats and storytelling there because obviously you've got like Larissa's point of view and everybody around here, but then you've got Zarin who literally like, this is my sister who has done this terrible thing. And now I have to try to accept her when everything have I been taught that's just because she fits herself in this box, I'm supposed to hate her. How do you deal with that? What does that look like? What does that do to you? Like, so much. See, Star Wars can have so much. So this is what, like, even before y'all give me legacy money, that's fine. We want y'all, like, I think for me, I'm just tired of the black and white. I want y'all to delve deep into what it means to be these characters. Like literally, like, let's fucking go, like, put your big girl panties on Disney and tell us, like, a real, like, nitty gritty Star Wars story. Let us see the people, like Gerald said, like Tara said, like I want to see people like in the streets. Like, do you really, like, if we're on Voss, Jedi aren't welcome there. I don't give a shit. Like, let's see that. Let's see what that happens. Like, if all of a sudden, like, it was like with Batman, like the Batman versus Superman shit was so dumb. It was bad movie. It was bad, but there was a beat there that I thought was really interesting when Superman went to go take care of some shit, but there were consequences. And that's what I want to see. Like, I thought it was legit why Batman has so much beef with Superman, because when two gods in a city just start fighting, what happens to everybody on the ground? Like, that's a legit plot point.
And say what you will about Zack Snyder's Batman, that was the right Batman for that story in that point in time, because again, seeing putting, like, in the big opening scene of Batman versus, I'm not talking about, again, the director's cut is so much better. I wish they would have released that because it explains so much more instead of just two bros being mad at each other and getting manipulated. But to
mom named Martha too.
to put Bruce through that trauma again, and coming off the heels of losing Robin. He's already messed. He's already jacked up psychologically, and then this alien again shows up and then, like, destroys freaking half this. Of course, obviously, Superman. That was mostly Zod. There's only one way to deal with Zod. I'm sorry, and Zod told Superman, "Look, either you join me or you're gonna have to kill me." And we saw how that affected Superman having to do that, having to make that choice. But like I said, love or hate the Snyderverse, that's one thing I did like about the Snyderverse, is him dealing with the psyche of the things that go on in the superhero world. Right. Because guess what? If Superman really exists, there will people be worshiping him like a messiah, just like they showed in that thing. Right. And then Clark would have to learn, like, dude, like, you can't just do whatever the hell you want to, man. Like, and that's always been Batman's thing, even in the animated series and in the comic books. It's like, what if you have a bad day, Clark? Like, what if you have a bad day? A bad day for you looks way different than a bad day for me. I might beat some thugs up and do some, but if you have a bad day, you know, a continent might disappear. So, but yeah, and I use that as an example just to show what I mean by when I say emotional human stories in the that's underlying all this fantastical stuff. Like Mix, it would be like the perfect blend of the Solo movie with the Mandalorian and what's the movie? The name just lost me.
Ahsoka?
No, the Star Wars show everybody loves so much. The One Way Out.
Clone Wars?
Went from
Fuck.
why can't I think of this name?
I know you're. Fuck. Hang on.
From Rogue One, the characters from Rogue One. It's the spin-off.
Andor.
Yes.
There we
I don't know
go.
why I couldn't think of that. Everybody look and say he ain't a real Star Wars fan. He couldn't even remember Andor.
We don't quiz you here.
But combine Andor, the storytelling with Andor, Mandalorian, and Solo, and I think that's where you get that ground level human, conflicts, psychological. Because again, like we saw Andor have to go through and make these tough choices. Would you say Andor was a bad guy? No, somebody else might. The people he shot and killed might say he's a bad guy. Right. But this dude he was surviving. He literally was surviving and happened to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. So, and to me, those are interesting stories. And and then they get wrapped up in all the Star Warsy stuff because we got to have that. I don't want to get rid of the Star Wars stuff,
right?
But
there's a lot of storytelling that you can tell inside of Star Wars.
You shut your mouth, Matthew.
Morrowind at it again. You are now only in like 3 episodes of the Legacy. When we do it on TV, we'll have like 3 Morrowind episodes. And if you have to be nicer, otherwise we're gonna not let you voice over the animated Morrowind. Whether or not you get to do that will be up to Tara, so you better be nice to Tara. All right, y'all, this has been a phenomenal geek out. We got to do this more. Just get on here and just talk about some just random fan shit because it's always fun to just dive deep into fandom, especially fandom that we obviously love and we're very passionate about, and we are very excited about all the Star Wars stuff. We just want you to take some risks. Don't be afraid to just dive into storytelling because motherfuckers are going to say what they are going to say regardless. So they all bought it. They all subscribe to Disney Plus, even though they bitching about it. Every one of those motherfuckers at the Kathleen Kennedy's, Disney's ruined Star Wars. You have a subscription though, don't you? You went to the movie theater and watched that movie though, didn't you?
And they're making all that YouTube money off of hating on it.
Listen, just let them say what they're gonna say and just tell the stories you want to tell, and then
just make them good. Just make them good.
Literally what anybody just wants is good storytelling. That's it. That is it. I tolerate you all. We also tolerate you, Morrowind. Thank you so much. But hey, this has been an awesome way to end our Legacy weekend of live performances of some of your favorite scenes of Legacy. Not anymore.
I feel it. Look, there's so many subscription services I got to bounce around. I'm gonna cancel this one.
I know you cancel one and then you just be like, what's on? Well, hang on, what's on? All right, I'm gonna cancel it.
We'll make a new email address.
Listen, I know why some of them streaming companies have stopped doing free trials. It's me. It's my fault. I
gotta binge watch them in 7 days before the trial is.
That's right.
So I don't forget to cancel and get it in my car.
Listen, I did a free trial.
Paramount. We've made like 4.
Oh my God, 4 accounts for like Paramount. They're so tired of my shit. Listen, I did a free trial just so I could watch The Ones Who Live because I ship Rick and Michonne and I just wanted to watch it. So I just did a little free trial real quick so I could. Whatever. Anyway, we're definitely gonna do more live performances. So please shout out us in the Discord. Tell us if there are particular scenes, shows of Tales of the Forgotten that you would love to see us do a live performance of. I can guarantee you that A Crazy Uncle is next, and we're going to do the whole thing. We're not even going to do a scene. We're just going to get the voice actors in here, and we're going to do the whole fucking thing one night, and we'll just see how it goes, because fuck it, we like having fun here. But again, we have amazing shows coming up for you in 2024, and an amazing roster of shows that you can listen to right now. So go to talesoftheforgotten.com and check us out. And if you have been loving and consuming our content, do not forget to support us. You can do that in a number of ways. If you have not left us a review on Spotify or Apple, please go and find your favorite Tales show and leave us a review. That helps so much. Your word of mouth marketing is incredibly powerful. Tell your friends, tell your colleagues, tell your coworkers. Walk around the office with your phone and have one of our shows on speaker. And when somebody asks you to turn it down, be like, no, bitch, listen to Tales, and make them listen. You know, just like that kind of stuff. We appreciate you so much. And if you have some extra money, we will take it because we love your support. I got voice actors to pay. So go to talesoftheforgotten.com. You can make a one-time donation, or you can get a membership and get even more cool shit. And if you are an investor who loves investing in women-run companies and the arts, I would love to have a conversation with you. We are looking for investors to come on board. You can just support one show. It's a smaller ask. I would love to have that conversation with you. So just reach out, Crystal at talesoftheforgotten.com, or just go to our website and use the contact form. I am Crystal. I'm the co-founder of Tales with the Amazing Pixel. I have been joined tonight by the incredible Gerald Hill and the equally incredible Tara, who voice act. They both of them voice act in our shows and a bunch of other stuff. I got to get Gerald in stuff before he's too busy for us. So that's why I got to finish Don't Look. And I got some other stuff in my brain before he's like, bro, I'm like, I can't. I'm in LA doing like fucking Mass Effect. I can't. I'm sorry. And I'll be like, true.
Have your people call my people.
Yeah. One day I'm going to Discord Gerald. I'm automatically going to get a phone call from his agent. Be like, nah, you can't just be Discord Gerald no more. I'll be like, true. It's going to happen for Tara as well. So we got to get them in shows before I can't get in touch with them no more. Or you can invest in Tales and I can be like, well, I'll just pay you more. So you can just come do our stuff instead. And then that'll work. So, hey, but anyway,
It's a win-win.
That's a win-win. So we love y'all. Thank y'all so much for hanging out tonight with us. And we've got some fun game nights planned as well. So if you're not in the Tales Discord, get in there. What are you doing? I'll find a link, or Babe will put a link up. Somebody will put a link in there for you to join us in the Tales Discord too. And that's it, y'all. We are out of here. This has been so much fun. Who's got final thoughts? Who wants final thoughts? Somebody take it.
Man, listen to Legacy. Just listen to it. And then also, oh man, we gotta find the link for the video on demand from the finale surprise show that we did. So that way people could listen to the whole audio gift card that we did, and they can see your face when they saw that the decanter was broken upon opening.
I have that broken decanter. I kept that shit.
Tragic. But no, definitely listen to Legacy. Listen to all the Tales things, even the After Dark ones if you are over 18. And that's anyway, have a great night.